Alright, so we have Gerald Meerschaert versus Makhmud Muradov. I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. But yeah, so Makhmud, Muradov. Anyway, so Muradov, he has good movement, lots of movement. He's always in motion. He's just constant motion with this guy. He's got very good striking, in my opinion. He's got a big speed advantage over Gerald Meerschaert. He likes to stick and move early, stick and move with the jab early and often to establish range, also low calf kick to establish range, kind of slow down his opponent early on. But he doesn't discriminate. He targets every level, the head, the body, the legs. He has very nice body work, 1-2 to the body, straight right to the body, lead leg body kick, switch body kicks, to the body, to the head. He's always setting up his power shots. Like, he doesn't just throw them naked, he doesn't just throw them just on their own. He'll always set them up, and that's what I think sets him apart from his opponent. Is that he will set up his power shots. He doesn't just wing out overhand rights or something like that. So I do think he's a very good striker, very educated striker in my opinion. So what he likes is the step in, the level change to the body, the 2 over the top. So he's faking the body shot and then he's going up top. The opponent drops their hands a little bit. He does like the overhand right in close, not really a strike that you're expecting in close, because you're expecting a left hook or a straight right maybe, but you don't really expect the overhand right in the pocket, which is where he throws it. But yeah, he likes the jab to the overhand right, quite speedy, quite fast hands, so definitely has a big speed advantage over Gerald Meerschaert. So Gerald Meerschaert is a southpaw, throws the 1-2, but pretty basic on the feet honestly. For GM3. But for Makhmud, he can be pressured onto the fence, like, that movement, that elusive footwork. If opponents have good counter footwork and they're able to cut the cage off, he can be, pressured onto the fence and kind of kept there. But generally, he does have very good escapes, and he's able to use his footwork to get out of those positions. But, guys with heavy pressure games can force him to the fence and, potentially catch him on the fence. Gerald Meerschaert, he'll probably be looking to... Sorry about that, there was a bird outside my window. Alright, so yeah, Gerald Meerschaert, he'll probably be looking to pressure him, ideally he wants to pressure him and engage him in the clinch. Gerald Meerschaert, he'll look for takedowns in the clinch, the outside leg trip for the most part, grab the body lock or, just the clinch, the over-unders, and, go for the outside leg trip. That's his go-to takedown. On the mat, Gerald Meerschaert, he is very good. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. He's very heavy on top. But generally, he's submission over position, and he can lose positions just by, overcommitting to the submission or being a little bit too aggressive in going for the submission. But he does like, when he stuffs a takedown or when he's broken the posture of his opponent, he does like the guillotine or the Das grip, and he's got a very good guillotine, as we saw in his last fight against Fabinski. Power guillotine choke. Oh, that's interesting. Call it a power guillotine. Alright, cool, fair enough. How these guys win fights: for Muradov, he's got good takedown defense and he's got a good chin. So how these guys lose fights: so for Meerschaert, I think the judges evidently don't like his style. I mean, he's lost some suspect decisions in his career, but it is what it is. I guess the judges don't like your style, and then you kind of got to adapt to that. Also, I have concerns about his chin, and we'll talk about that in a sec. So, path to victory. So for Muradov, operate around the center of the octagon. You want to control the inside of the octagon lines, and you want to keep him on the outside. Look to catch a kick and return with offense. No takedowns, because he will mix in takedowns at times, but I don't think that is the move here. Just the path of least resistance is to keep it on the feet. For Meerschaert, look for the reactive double when he's loading up on the overhand right in the pocket or a straight right in the pocket. Because, yeah, he does like that overhand right in close. So look to time a level change underneath that and get in top position. Alright, so how I see the fight playing out. So a classic Gerald Meerschaert versus a prospect fight. Happens every time. They just love feeding them to him. But I gotta say, this is the most well-rounded prospect that he's had to face. Like, you might say Khamzat Chimaev, but we haven't really seen Khamzat's striking game. But I can say for certain that this guy does have elite striking. and I can't say that for Hamzat. But I don't think Gerald's going to have much room on the feet. Meerschaert is very flat-footed. I think we're going to see a significant difference in hand speed between these two. Also think Meerschaert's chin is done, and that's what I was referring to before. You know, I think Ian Heinisch has pillow hands basically, and he hurt Gerald bad in the first round of their fight, like basically the first punch of that fight. And I don't think he has too much power. I think Hamzat has power, but you know, getting deaded by the first punch is just not a great look, no matter how you cut it and no matter what division you're in. But yeah, I think just getting put out by Heinisch, who is pillow fierce in my opinion, is just not a great look. And Muradov, this dude can strike. Like, if you watch his KO of Trevor Smith, it's just beautifully set up. I think he went, I can't remember, I texted fucking ages ago. I think it was a jab to the body and an overhand right up top, or a fake jab to the body and an overhand right up top. Anyway, I should have wrote down what the setup was, instead of just saying it was beautifully set up. But you know, it is what it is. It was beautifully set up. I just remember that. I think I can remember it in my head quite well, but I don't want to just give away fake news or whatever. So Makhmud, he's never fought in a smaller cage, and the footwork is a big part of his game, but I don't think it's going to be a problem in this fight, honestly. You know, GM3, he's not likely to come in with heavy forward pressure or anything like that, so I think Makhmud's going to just pretty much have the whole cage to work with anyway, and it's going to be enough for him to just implement his usual game plan. Even though this guy just started his journey in the UFC, he is a veteran of over 30 fights, so I'm not expecting like a brain fart that you would see in like a younger fighter like a Trevin Giles or a Kevin Holland, and they just make stupid mistakes and just really questionable fight IQ, and that leads to them losing to Gerald Meerschaert. And that's normally how Meerschaert wins, is when fighters do silly stuff against him and he finds the finish. Like, he's not like a minute winner. He's never going to be a champion in the UFC, but that's just how he wins fights. He's a bit of a Anthony Smith type, you know? But yeah, it is what it is. Muradov's takedown defense has looked great in the UFC so far, but I just still don't have any footage of him on bottom or his get-up game, so it could get dicey if GM3 does manage to get him down, but I can't see it. Like, this guy looks like the real deal. You know, 14 wins in a row, 3 in the UFC, after starting his career 4-4. Like, respect, you know, for sticking with it. His losses, you know, a couple of subs early on in his career. Hasn't been subbed in a very long time. You know, you get subbed well, you see prospects just get a few submission losses on their record early on. You know, even if they're like 13-0 and they join the UFC, generally they face a guy like Gerald Meerschaert that he'll get a submission win and they just learn from it. But yeah, also a TKO via injury and a split decision, and that's his 6 career losses. So, you know, 4 by sub, but they're all very early on in his career. So I guess Meerschaert does have a path to victory, but I just don't see it happening too often. Alright, so if you guys could like the video, that'd be awesome. Prediction is Muradov, of course. I think he wins by TKO, probably round 2, maybe even round 1. If you feel like he gets Gerald out of there pretty easily, doesn't really break too much of a sweat, doesn't get hit too much, doesn't take too much damage, doesn't really, you know, let Gerald get anything off, really. I think the guy is the real deal, honestly. But, you know, minus 500, yeah, he probably does. He probably looks minus 1,000 on fight night, but it's just the lack of footage on his get-up game and bottom game is making me not want to pull the trigger on that price tag. I was probably fine paying like $1.30 or minus 330 or whatever that is on the money line, but just this one a bit too steep for me, just with the unknowns. Maybe Muradov KO, or if like inside the distance is the same price, then just go the inside the distance. But if I can get Muradov KO at like $2.50 or 1 plus 150, which judging by the money line I'm probably not going to get, but I'd probably hit that, just small, just for a bit of action on the fight, which I love. But yeah, so I got Muradov. I don't think he breaks a sweat in this one.